Hey guys, so today I'll be helping you genius up with Maths Lit. We'll be doing a grade 12 mathematical literacy paper 1 exam question paper, which is a 2018 Feb question paper. So if you haven't checked out my first video on grade 12 data handling, you can check it out. And this is part 2 of that video whereby we're dealing with grade 12 mathematical literacy data handling. So let's just jump straight to the question. So they say a survey on the distribution of literacy levels among adults who are aged. So we're dealing with adults who are aged 35 to 64, conducted in all provinces. So was conducted in all provinces of South Africa. So this table below shows the 2016 adult literacy levels per province. So you can see that in our table over here, they gave us the provinces, right? So they gave us the provinces, and then they categorized the data into non-literate and literate. So they classified these adults whether into two groups, whether they literate or non-literate. And then this is the total over here, right? So this basically means that in the Western Cape, 288,918 adults were non-literate, right? And in the Western Cape, out of the total adults in the Western Cape, 14.1% were non-literate. So this basically means that 14.1% of this total number of adults in the Western Cape are non-literate, meaning that this number here represents 14.1% of this total over here, right? But let's jump straight to the questions, right? So 5.1, 5.2.1 says calculate the missing value of Q. So if you can look at your table, Q is the total number of non-literate adults in South Africa. So you have two ways of answering this question. The first one, you can simply add all these numbers here. Add all the non-literate adults in every province, each and every province, and then you end up with the total number of non-literate adults in South Africa, right? Or the second way is you can take the total number of adults in South Africa. So this total over here represents the total number of adults in South Africa. So you take the total number of adults in South Africa, you subtract the total number of literate adults in South Africa, and then you get the total number of the non-literate. So you take the total number of adults in South Africa, subtract the total number of literate adults, you get the non-literate adults, right? So we can just write it down real quick and say, okay, your Q can be found by saying the total number of adults in South Africa, which is 15,353,036. Then you subtract your total number of literate adults, which is 12,172,918, and then you get your answer of so you'd have to get the answer of 3,180 and 118. So this is your answer right there for 5.2.1. This is the total number of non-literate adults in South Africa. So let's go to 5.2.2. They say determine the percentage of literate adults in South Africa. So we're looking for the percentage of literate adults in South Africa. So what you have to do here, you have to go and look for the total number of literate adults in South Africa, and then you find the percentage of that number over the total number of adults in South Africa. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So you go and find the total number of literate adults, which is 12,172,918. So this is the total number of literate adults in South Africa. So the total number of adults in South Africa is 15,353,036. So out of the 15,353,036 individuals in South Africa, 12,172,918. Sorry for that. It's 12,172,918 individuals are literate. Out of this total number, this much literate. So you take the number of literate over the total number of adults in South Africa. You multiply it by 100, and then you get your percentage. So you'll get your percentage as 79.3, right? So that's your percentage of literate adults in South Africa. So let's go to 5.2.3. So they say express as a unit ratio. So what's a unit ratio? A unit ratio is a ratio that will be expressed as, so it can be expressed as 1 is to n. That's a unit ratio. So n can be any number, but the key thing is the first one has to be 1. So it's 1 is to, so there are 2 dot full stop like things over here which represent is to. So it's 1 is to a certain number. N can be any number. So unit ratio has to be expressed like this. So they say express as a unit ratio the number of non-literate adults to the number of literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal, right? So we want the number of non-literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal to the number of literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal. Let's go and look for the number of non-literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal. So here's KwaZulu-Natal over here. The non-literate adults is 650. So it's 650 033 033 is 2. So let's go and look for the number of literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal, which is this 1,956,497, right? So this is the number of literate adults in KwaZulu-Natal. So now we need to express this as a unit ratio, meaning that we need to express it like this as 1 is to any number, 1 is to any number, right? So how do you do this? So what you're gonna do, you'll take the number on the left hand side, you divide both sides by this number on the left hand side. So you're gonna divide both sides by 650 033, and then you also divide this side by 650 033, and then you'll get 1 is to, right? Because when you divide the number by here, when you divide the number by itself, let me just show you. When here, when you divide the number by itself, you get 1, and then is to this side, when you divide this 1 million by that number, you get an answer of 3. So the answer will be 3,0098, stuff like that. So I rounded it off to 1 decimal place just for simplicity's sake. But yeah, you can round off to 1 decimal place and then you get your full marks. So let's move to 5.2.4. So they say arrange the number of literate adults per province in ascending order, right? The number of literate adults per province in ascending order. So ascending order is from the smallest number to the biggest number. So what you need to do here is to arrange these numbers over here from the smallest to the biggest, right? So you start from the smallest number all the way up to the biggest number. So by looking at these numbers, you can easily see that this one is the smallest, followed by this one, and then you can do the rest, right? And just get your list there, and then you get your 2 marks. And then they say determine, for 5.2.5, they say determine the province with the smallest difference between the number of literate and non-literate adults. The province with the smallest difference. So if we take this number here and we subtract this one, and we do it for all the provinces, which one will have the smallest difference, right? The smallest difference. And you can also skim through the numbers and try to see which one can possibly have the smallest difference. And by looking at these numbers, if you check Northern Cape, that's the only province with the smallest number of literate individuals, right? And if you take this one, subtract this one, you'll get the smallest difference compared to any other province, because these other provinces have like 1 million something, close to 2 million, 1 million something, 1 million something, 600,000. Those are huge numbers, but this one has smaller numbers. So if you take the difference there, you'll get a smaller difference, right? Hope you find this helpful. Kindly click the like button if you liked it, and feel free to drop a comment and tell me which topics you want me to cover next, and I'll be happy to do that. Remember, this is grade 12 mathematical literacy exam question paper. So hope you find this helpful. Cheers.